we're going to talk about support for Israeli society after October 7th. And without further ado, I want to introduce a very, very moving panel with Shariel Gun, Director of Fundraising and Global Resource Development Division of KKL-JNF Israel, Ravit Ressler, who's a bereaved mother of Dvir Chaim Ressler, a sergeant in the Golani Brigade, Moshe Moreno, a bereaved mother, Evitai Moreno, first sergeant major in the Infantry Magellan Commando Unit, Irit Oren Gunders, who's the founder and chairwoman and CEO of Or LaMishpachot, and finally Ellie Rowe, founder and president of Hatzala Air Emergency Response Team. They will be moderated on this panel by Eve Young.
אנחנו כל כך מאושרים, אנחנו כל כך אוהבים אותו, הוא כזה ילד מקסים.
באמת, אני לא יודעת איך להעביר לך את זה במילים, אבל שבלעדייך אני לא הייתי פה בעולם, הדבר היחידי שרציתי זה לעזוב את העולם הזה.
אני מאמין שלי בעמותת אור למשפחות, זה קודם כל בוחרים בחיים, וזה לא רק לבחור בחיים, זה לקדש את החיים למענך, ולמען כל האוהבים שלך, ולחיות חיי משמעות.
אני מחייכת, ולא חשוב באיזה מצב הייתי רגע לפני.
שם למעלה דואג לי, זה שאני אמשיך.
אני שומעת אימא לילד שאין מוחה אסון, כן זה חלק כבר בתמינה שלי.
לא תאמיני, יש לנו תאנים בבטן.
מחליפים את ספר התורה לבית הכנסת הגדול בעינוי נשמתם של החיילים והחיילות שההורים שלהם הגיעו לרומא.
מעטים האנשים שמוסרים את נפשם בשביל משפחות שכולות.
המטרה שלנו להצליח לחבק עוד ועוד הורים ואחים שנמצאים בחשכת יומם ולהוציא אותם לפעילות.
אנחנו ניתן להם כוח, אנחנו איתכם לעולמים.
ושנצליח לגעת בכל בית ובית ולהדליק להם אור. זה החלום.
So I think that what really, really defines this panel is that each of you play such a pivotal role in the story of the Jewish people coming together in really the darkest of times to support each other. Ravit, I'd like to start with you. On October 7th, your son, Staff Sergeant Dvir Chaim Ressler, a combat soldier in the Golani Brigade, was killed as he protected his friends, holding the door to their shelter shut as terrorists tried to break in. They say that on that day, Dvir didn't even enter the shelter until he made sure that everyone on his base was awake and knew to go to shelter as well. Can you tell us something that you would want us or people to learn from your son to continue in his legacy?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm really excited and thank you. My son was a hero. All he ever thought about was to protect his friends. He wasn't thinking of himself, and I want you all to know that all he thought about was unity and happiness, and we want all of you to continue his way. And he was the love of my life, my firstborn child, and this is really a difficult time, but Or LaMishpachot Foundation is really helping us to continue living, continue with happiness, and to go out, to continue living. And we thank you all.
That's so beautiful. Moshe, your brother, Lieutenant Colonel Emmanuel Moreno, was killed in combat in the Second Lebanon War in 2006. Your son, Master Sergeant Itai Moreno, who served in the elite Maglan unit, was killed on October 11th on Zikim Beach when he met a cell of terrorists. On October 7th, Itai actually had debated whether to go to his reserve service in the IDF or in the Shin Bet where he worked. And he was told it's probably a better idea to go to the Shin Bet. Things seem more organized there, maybe safer. And he said, no, I'm going to the IDF. And the reason why was because he was the only Negev light machine gunner on his team, and he couldn't leave them without him. Can you tell us please, what would you want us to learn from your son?
Yes. Itai was like her kid, and I think most of the kid and most of the soldiers who left them house and go to the battle, go to save people. Itai didn't think about it himself. As you say, he was working for the Shabak, and at October 7, he received a phone call from his commander at the Shabak asking him to come to the south. And then a few minutes later, his friends from his crew, from his team in Maglan called him and told them, Itai, you should come because we don't have a Negevist. Negevist, it's a big gun. And without the Negev, you cannot combat. So he asked me, because he had a big respect to his parents, he asked, Father, what should I do? I know it's very difficult for you. You lost your brother. And I told him, it's very hard for me. I'm asking you, I'm not demanding you. I'm asking you if you can go to your work, go to the Shabak, it's very important. He was commander there. And he said, okay, I will do it, Dad. And after a few minutes, his friends call him and make pressure on him. And he told me, Dad, I cannot leave my friends without a Negev. I must go and fight and help them. So I couldn't say nothing. Although I had a very bad impression, like when my brother died, day before I had the impression that he's not going to return back. He left the house, and unfortunately, I was at the first day I was thinking that I was lucky because he wasn't they went to the base, and they didn't have equipment, no arms, nothing. So I thought I was lucky because he didn't fight on the 7th October. And at the night he called me and he said, Dad, we don't have a vest, protective vest. You should do something. He got his vest because I arranged him a vest before. He told me, Dad, you must arrange for my friend 22 vests. And I did a lot of efforts, and I managed to bring them 22 vests to the south. And in the fourth day, I decided I couldn't stay home. I was crazy. I decided to volunteer by myself to go to Sderot, helping people to get out with my little gun. I took my little son who is here, and we went together. We engaged with the army. Although he's not soldier, they told me he's not soldier. He cannot. I said, it's like 48. It's like 48.
Is that the legacy of your son, to help people, to
Yes.
do what you can to help others? Thank you.
Yes. I just want to add something that I don't want to talk about what happened there, but the 22 vests saved 5 soldiers from his team.
Wow.
They got the bullets on the vest, and he saved them. And he was the first to react and killed 3 or 4 terrorists, and he saved all his team.
Wow.
So he sacrificed his life for others, like her son and everyone.
Thank you so much.
And I just want to say about Erit, that after the Shiva, I have to be honest, people are disappearing. And she, the only one who called us, and she took me by force because I didn't want to go out from my bed. She took me by force, and she put me on a stage to sing with my daughter.
Wow.
So they are doing a very, very terrific.
An incredibly important service.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Shariel, thank you. Yes. KKL-JNF has also done incredibly important work to help and support those harmed on October 7th. Tell us a little bit about the initial reaction.
Good evening. First of all, thank you for the Jerusalem Post for organizing this meaningful convention. I'm proud to be here as a representative of KKL-JNF. קרן קיימת לישראל understood for the first moment that the reality was changed after the 7th of October. The board member, led by Ifat Ovadia Lusky, entered to immediately reaction. We send immediately help to the municipality and for the regions that needed money, immediate money. We helped to evacuate.
It is my honor to address.
We helped to evacuate hundreds of families out from the north and from the south to the center of Israel. Not only that, the education division helped to do activities with the families. You need to understand that a family of 5, 6, 7 person in a room in the hotel, that the pressure is very high, and the education division helped to take the kids, helped to give them other hours for the parents to manage the things.
Can you tell us of the hundreds of projects that you've done in the wake of October 7th, fueled by donations? Can you describe the one that touched your heart the most?
I'm proud that we established hundreds of projects in the south and in the north, thanks to a donation that we received all over the world. I would like to describe not a project, an activity. In September, we had a solidarity mission. You know, KKL-JNF works in more than 50 countries worldwide. And we decided to do a mission, solidarity mission to all the offices. And we thought that nobody will come because Israel is under missiles. Every day the news is terrible. And fortunately, and this is the unique of the Jewish, the unique of KKL, the more than 300 donors came to Israel. They were with us, they helped us, they saw the project, and it was proud to see them. And in one evening that 300 of our donors stood and sing the Tikva together and sing Am Yisrael Chai, and everybody was crying. This is the moment that I remember mostly.
That sounds very touching. Ellie, many people, many lucky people, will never know what Hatzalah Air does because you often work through other organizations. So give us the background. What is Hatzalah Air?
So first of all, I want to say thank you to the Lipskers, who I'm very close with. And they definitely deserve that. A little louder for the Lipsker family. And a special shout out to Yara and her parents who come from Queens, which is my hometown. So welcome here. You know, Hatzalah is almost like the word university or hospital or shul or college. It's a movement, it's an institution, if you would, that actually started in the 1960s when somebody watched his friend die and felt so hopeless that he bought one oxygen tank. My father, when he came to America, I'm from England. My accent's been adulterated and perverted by American society, but I do have a British passport. And came to America and started Hatzalah in Queens. And in 1990, I decided I was going to start the paramedic division, which is the advanced life support. I had the incredible privilege of, or the schus, of looking after the Lubavitcher Rebbe in 1992. It was the highlight of my life. Treated him and moved in 770 with him. And then as I went through life, I ran a pretty sizable data company where we had an aircraft. And I was a paramedic and a commercial pilot and had access to a plane. And people would call me and say, my child's got immunocompromised situations, needs to get across the country but can't go commercial. Can you fly them? And one led to the next and led to the next. And I said, today there are Hatzalah organizations all around the world in, you name it, South Africa and Australia, all over Europe and England and Israel, across America. Why not have Hatzalah in the air? Today, we get our requests from Hatzalah branches around the world, from Chabad houses around the world. And just last week, I was in Israel twice. 2 ladies from Atlanta got hit by an Egged bus. One was critical. The Misrad HaPnim called us about a Yahalom soldier who was shot at by an anti-tank missile in a tunnel that was supposedly cleared and had horrific brain injury that needed to get flown to Shirley Ryan in Chicago. Hatzalah Air flew for free. And I just want to leave one tiny story which I think is going to make all of us proud. We got a request to fly a lady from the Galapagos Islands back who had a horrible condition, DVT, a blood clot led to a pulmonary embolism, a clot in her lung, and then congestive heart failure. Her husband was told she had 24 hours to live. They called the local Chabad rabbi who called Hatzalah in Baltimore, who called us. When we were on the way down with an impressive jet with a doctor and medical crew on board, the locals said to this Jewish lady, "This must be costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars." She said, "Actually, it's free." So they said, "You must know these people really well." And she said, "Actually, I don't know them at all." So they said to her, "Why are they doing this for you?" And she said, "Because we're Jewish." Wow. So they said, "How do we become Jewish?"
Thank you for
Yisrael
that.
Chai.
Am Yisrael Chai. Thank you for that beautiful story. I think it really exemplifies this panel, truly the Jewish people coming together in the darkest times. To finish the panel, because unfortunately we are out of time, Irit, can you tell us what message you would like to share with the audience about Or LaMishpachot?
First, I want to thank Jerusalem Post and especially to Eli Azur for your giving me the stage and your support for all Mishpachot. I love you, Eli Azur. And I wait a lot. I must 2 minutes. I was a lieutenant colonel in the IDF. I sent officers to combat units. Unfortunately, some of them never came back. I remember the word Captain Taranto told me before I sent him to Gaza. I will never forget his dark, beautiful eyes. Aviv was my best friend. I am going to replace him no matter what. It was the last time I saw him. I remember Tzipora Avitan sitting at the window in her house, looking north and still waiting for her son Adi, who was kidnapped and killed by Hezbollah. I visited the families, and from October 7, I visited more than 400 houses during the Shiva. The pain and sadness hit my heart and touched my soul. I vowed to pull the family out of the deep black hole and help them return to normal life. I invited 5 families to dinner in my house. They didn't want to come. I insisted. 7 p.m., white shirt, red nails, and Persian food. The day after, I received call from Tzipora. It was great. We came, we cried, laughed, and even told jokes. We didn't want to leave. Please continue. That's exactly what I did. From 5 families, we are embracing today 13,000 bereaved parents, brothers, and sisters that participate in our activities. Since 2006,
I have been managing all המשפחות voluntarily 24/7. This is my life mission. all המשפחות is running more than 20 projects at this time. As we speak now, more than 2,000 officers from IDF Officer School and members of the youth movement Hatzofim moving from house to house carrying packages of love for Hanukkah. We do it 5 times during the year. Many parents don't leave their home after the tragedy. So we reach out of them, give them love to show them that we remember their child. I always say, as long we remember the child still alive. Another project, we run the scholarship for bereaved brothers and sisters. Next month, we will give 225 scholarships. Without our support, most of them will not be able to learn. The holiday of Hanukkah symbolizes victory and light. Our own Maccabees are fighting as we speak. And this week, we lost 8 heroes soldiers. The light in those houses also turn off. All המשפחות attempt to bring light, and you help me now, to the homes of falling hero soldiers, the person Maccabees, not just 8 days, but every minute, all the year. Please help us in our ongoing effort to bring light to all those holy families. I learned in my life that big things are done together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for sharing your stories of coming together to support each other.